All right, welcome back to Home Track Heroes here, the opening show of 2021, and it's been a fun night of racing here at Evergreen Speedway. So cool to have fans in the stands, and I know that you're probably tired of hearing how neat it is to have people here, but man, I tell you, 18 months this place went without having anybody in the stands, so pretty exciting.
Who'd have thought? You know, and I want to just do a shout out right now. The 33 car, Kyle Lang, 13 years old, and he's out there in the top 15. Ran quarter midgets, moved on up. Clint Lang and Kim, his mom and dad, been around Evergreen Speedway a long time, and that young man, 13 years old, doing himself proud.
Yeah, and going to do really well in these things. All right, before we went to break, Aaron Flett spins, and it affected Chad Sinner, and it affected the other car that was involved in it too. Chad Sinner now has to go to the back of the pack because he was involved in it. But what's cool is we get to watch how well he does with 8 laps to go. It's still Garrett Archer, and they show Chad Sinner in there. We'll get him fired up as we got 8 laps to go to wrap up our main event for the Evergreen Legends. Here
Sinner
we go.
To the back, Weber out of the race, and here we go green.
All right, here we are. Garrett Archer with a nice restart on with 8 laps to go, and got a pretty not sizable lead, but maybe about 4 or 5 car lengths, and that sometimes in these is just all you need as the laps are starting to wind down here on a beautiful Saturday night.
Well, I told you, though, Swanson just will not quit.
Nope.
He's going to come back after Archer. He's going to give it everything he can. He's just, grinning in that number 2 spot, but he's going to work really hard to catch Archer.
Yep, and Archer knows he's back there. There's a good shot at Chad Sinner. Look how far that young man has made his way to the field just with 1 lap to go. He is working inside, working outside, just doing everything he can to get back and get involved in that mix with Lance Mackey in the 3rd spot, Dwayne Swanson in the 16 in 2nd, and still leading this thing with coming up on 5 laps to go, the young man in the number 5, Garrett Archer.
This has been a great race throughout, and it just shows how things change. Just one down car makes a spin, clipped a couple cars, but here they go down the backstretch. Swanson all over.
Oh, and look at that. All over him indeed as he gets the 5 car turned around. Swanson himself turns around. That'll bring out the caution, and we'll get him lined back up. And a great opportunity for the 03 of Lance Mackey, and there's quite a story there with that guy.
And you know what? I would think that right now Swanson is off Garrett Archer's Christmas card list. Yeah. Not a chance he's going to get a Christmas card this year.
No, but there's plenty of races left in 2021 for the Evergreen Legends to see how this one plays out. But one thing, that's 2 cars that Chad Sinner doesn't have to worry about getting around, as you can see in this shot coming up, that he is really doing a nice job working his way through the field.
The Speedway Chevrolet pace car, you can see it right there, making a left turn, and that means that when they come back around off turn 4, they'll see the green flag with just 5 laps to go.
A absolutely perfect night for racing in the Pacific Northwest. As you know, we record these, and as the green flag flies, the next day was just brutal all over the Pacific Northwest. But boy, someone was looking out for us at Evergreen Speedway on this particular Saturday night. Just absolutely gorgeous. We have another spin down on the inside, trying to pick up the number on that. Looks like it's the number 10 of Chris Thompson. And looks like he'll get that back up. But man, still under green, and Lance Mackey hanging on with Kenny Armstrong and Cole Alton in that 3rd spot.
It's just a great race still, even without. And right now he's still out of the picture, but Sinner, there he goes. He is coming, and he's coming hard.
He is. He works his way around now. It looks like he's moved up, and should show here pretty quick up into that 3rd spot. But Lance Mackey out of Nome, Alaska, is what I hear. And he'll get the long toe award, that's for sure.
That's for darn sure. Coming down, they'll see the 2 to go this time by. Mackey doing a great job. But look who's been that 3rd spot.
Yeah.
And
boy,
guess what? He's scratching and sniffing to get into 2nd.
That's the reason why that young man is a 3-time consecutive champion in the Evergreen Legends division, by the way he just masterfully worked his way through the field. Slipped underneath Kenny Armstrong to move up in that 2nd spot. White flag to go. We'll bring the top 3 up to talk to Kyler Hope at the Angel of the Winds victory platform here in just a few seconds, but we got to get this finished up as Lance Mackey takes it down into turn 3, holds his line nicely coming out of turn 4. Sinner taking a look up on the outside, just not enough time to get it. Congratulations, Lance Mackey. Chad Sinner, and we'll bring him up.
Well, down here with our Legends winner, coming down from Alaska. I mean, that's quite a trek. What made you want to come to Evergreen Speedway?
I've never been here. I haven't drove a car in a couple years, and my buddy Robert Gayton out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, hooked me up with a car, and my buddy Doug came down from Anchorage, and we come to have a good time, put on a good show, and I hope that's what we did.
What was your trick to be able to stay clean tonight? We saw a lot of leaders get collected in accidents. What was your trick to staying clean?
Man, just trying to pay attention, you know, and exactly that. I don't like rubbing, I don't like bumper cars, and good clean racing is what it's about, and I think it doesn't matter where you finish, if you can go home with your car in one piece, you win.
A very happy first place all the way from Alaska. All right, Chad Sinner, obviously you're very dominant, getting the championship the past 2 years. You're in a really good battle for the lead with 4 cars, and all of a sudden, disaster in front of you with a lap car. Walk me through what happened.
Oh man, it was hectic, and I foresaw that car spinning out, and I tried to get up the track enough to leave the car underneath me a little bit of room, and it was just a racing deal, and we both had nowhere to go, and ended up happening. I'm just thankful the car was still together, so I could drive back up through the field and make the best I could out of it.
Who do you need to thank for getting to the track this weekend?
Oh, I need to thank my mom, my dad. My dad did good out racing his first time in probably about 25 years. I'm really happy for him. Terrific towing. I had a couple anonymous sponsors out here that actually put me in this ride that I'm in now, and I'm very thankful for that. Don, Lauren, my buddy Max, it was his birthday. He's been my pit crew the past 2 years, and he puts in a lot of work. Anyone that helps me out makes a big difference, and I'm always looking for more sponsors. I got plenty of real estate on the car, and trying to do a little more traveling this year and some more racing.
Chad Sinner's going to be one to watch for in 2021. All right, Ricky Arnold, how does it bother you mentally seeing a car roll over in the same race that you're in? Does that kind of take a toll on you, or did it help you kind of refocus and reset your mind?
Yeah, I really didn't see the accident. I heard about it happening over there, and the car was actually really pretty good, a lot better than I was. I really need to thank all of our partners that have come out to on board with us, with Rev Up Energy, King's Transmission, Vital Signs, and all my crew guys. They did a fantastic job. I had Ron and Dylan Wolf, Brett and Rich Hagan, Jimmy Alberto, Jeff Barkshire. Thank you so much for everything. It was a lot of fun. 22 years since I've been out here.
A very grateful third place finish tonight.
Thank you, Kyler, and congratulations. A really cool Legends race, an indication of how exciting it's going to be for 2021 in that class.
Yeah, you bet, and you better get your elbows up or you're going to be in the back.
Yeah. All right, coming up, our Frank's Radio Service. Outlaw Figure 8 division, but we need to talk about these people behind us, and they have been huge supporters of Figure 8 racing here in the Pacific Northwest, and that is the Monroe Grocery Outlet. Congratulations, new owners. The Voorhees family taking over and looking to do some pretty cool things. But Monroe Grocery Outlet is your locally owned neighborhood grocery store. They offer name brand products, fresh produce, organics, wine, and more at 40 to 70% less than traditional grocery stores. Shop them and first and save. Monroe Grocery Outlet, the proud sponsor of our Super Stock Figure 8 division here at Evergreen Speedway. All right, here's the lineup. And wow, how about this? Jay Van Buskirk in the number 48, brought to you by 2.5 Men Barbecue. On the front row, outside, in the number 25 is Dakota Wilkinson. Quentin Morrison, the one-armed bandit, in that number 17 car. Outside of Quentin, in the 67 is Mackenzie Deet, sponsored by BECU.
In the third row, inside will be the 71 car of Nick Holden. Outside of Nick, in the 33 car, it'll be Nick Gunderson. In the next row back, the 51 of Ryan Clark, sponsored by Miracles and Memories Academy. outside of him will be Chris Curtis in the 74 car.
Your champion from 2020 and several prior to that. Brought to you by the Fireplace Guy Hearth and Home LLC. The Cowboy John Carlson. As the green flag flies, the 83 of Zach Larson. We go back to the 676 of Ricky the Kid Dietz. The 45, good to have this cat back. And Jake Reppin and Jillian Lepedo. Brought to you by Hager Motorsports in the Zero car. So there's your lineup. First time out for the figure eights. And it's cool to see a nice looking field of cars.
13 cars, 30 laps. I got to tell you, some of those cars are absolutely gorgeous. I was very, very impressed with the workmanship,
Yes.
the coloring on them, and everything else. Hopefully this class just keeps growing and growing all year because we're going to see some great figure eight action.
I am so glad to see Zach Larson back out in the number 83, and that car just looks nasty sitting still, and that's kind of the best way to gauge them is how they look sitting still. Ricky Dietz's car does the same way, as does Gunderson's. Pretty much all of them do. They just, I don't know what it is
And
about
they
them,
fire those things up in the pits, and man, the hair stands up on the back of your neck. Those things are
Exactly.
bad to the bone.
They are, and the cool part about them, there's the reason they call them outlaws. We see a couple of them get together. Nick Gunderson looks like he was part of that, and along with the 51 of Ryan Clark. But the 25 of Dakota Wilkinson looking pretty sporty as we kind of stuck on the outside, which is not helping in turns 3 and 4. These guys run from the north end of the track down to the south. That's turn 1 they're in right now, the bulk of them. There's turn 2 as they come out of that through the intersection down into turn number 3 and then across the finish line. And one thing that's really, these guys it takes a lot of bravery, a lot of guts to drive these cars. But I think the one with the most guts, we'll point them out to you when they come around, and that is our flagman, John Peterson, because he is right. You will see the shot as they come around, but you'll see where John is.
He's
He
got a
is
ringside
right
seat.
there inside that group of tires. So, yeah, he's got the best view of the house.
You know, Jillian Lepedo ran her Superstock car with the Outlaw cars. She ran every bit she can. 18 years old. That new car that she has, this Outlaw car, that thing is sporty.
Yeah.
I mean, a very, very nice piece they put together. I know that Rick Hager probably had his fingers in it a little bit. It was good to see Rick out and about after
Wasn't
having
it, though? Yeah, he had a rough year.
He did.
He really did. He had a rough off season, and good to see him back and getting better and better every day. You see cars sliding
bad.
through there. Yeah. That's how quick those things can get away from you.
Look at Quentin Borson slide right
Yeah,
through there.
He is just so
I mean, I heard that
amazing.
maybe Quentin wasn't going to run this year, and here he is running his Superstock car against the Outlaw cars and just cutting that intersection.
You know, I asked Quentin, we were taking a tour through the pits before the day started, and I talked to Quentin and said, what's this I hear about you maybe kind of cutting back a little bit? His car owner, Dave Brandenburg, was sitting there with him, too. And you know, we use this term a lot about being long in the tooth. You and I are certainly qualified for that description. And Dave said, you know, I'm kind of thinking I want to go camping and do some other things. So they're going to be kind of selective. They've won their 5 consecutive championships. They've proven how good those two are as a driver and a car owner. But boy, Quentin, that's going to be tough for him to. He may not be driving, but I can guarantee you that guy will be out at this racetrack every Saturday night if he possibly can.
You're absolutely right. And you watch him. I watched this race, and there were a couple times I didn't have a clue where Quentin was going to go, and somehow the seas parted right there. There's a prime example. He threaded that needle. I mean, man, just absolutely perfect, flawlessly.
Yeah.
That guy has got so much talent.
So
You know,
amazing.
it would be a shame if he's not out there each and every week, because, man, he does it, and he does it with style, and he does it with some class. So.
And there we go. We got a bit of a smoke show going down in between turns 1 and 2. It looks like Ricky the Kid Dietz, maybe the car just kind of got away from him. A lot of horsepower. And although Ricky, a long-time veteran doing this, just things happen.
Well, you're right, and you know it's just opening night too. If you notice, I mean, he's been off a little bit today. John Carlson, very quiet tonight, and he's normally not a quiet figure eight racer, but that'll change as the year goes along.
It will. So there we see the 74, our leader of Chris Curtis out of Granite Falls. and we'll bring it back up here as they're getting that thing sorted out. Gives me a chance to remind you guys, get on to evergreenspeedway.com, please, and get in on the Advanced My Track Challenge brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. You can vote for Evergreen Speedway as the top Advanced Auto Parts weekly series track in the country. $50,000 will come to the track, and they are going to do some pretty cool things with that. Evergreen Speedway is so active in the community of Monroe. There's a lot of people who get a benefit out of that. So get on there, evergreenspeedway.com. You can get into it to Advanced Auto Parts website as well. Stop by the Advanced Auto Parts in downtown Everett on Everett Avenue.
And you can vote
McDougal.
3 times a day, so
Yeah,
have at it.
have at it. Let them know what you think about one of the best short tracks in the country right here.
About halfway
at
through
Evergreen
this main
Speedway.
event, we're back to green. Chris Curtis continues to lead. As you can see, he's followed by Zach Larson and Jake Rupp, and those guys are going to be up front all year long.
Zach Larson is the most unassuming figure 8 racer I have ever seen. You know how we play that game a lot. You line up a bunch of guys, say, hey, pick the figure 8 racer out of that group. And Zach Larson, while he's a fierce competitor, he doesn't quite fit that mold. And but boy, you get him inside that number 83 car, and it just flies. Good to see Zach Larson running strong tonight here on opening night at Evergreen Speedway. And on Home Track Heroes, again, Chris Curtis is, you see the 51 car there, Ryan Clark. Ryan's dad, Pat, has been a kind of a co-driver of the 74 for several years, and then Chris finally took it over. But Pat down there, the Boney brothers, field both of those cars, and good to see Ryan making his way up through into the top ranks in the figure 8 class.
When I was walking through the pits early in the evening, saw the legend Vern Dietz, and he was just in his glory. He was holding court, and
As he should.
proud of his granddaughter, his son, and as they continue to add to that legend of what Vern started here at Evergreen Speedway for so many years. And as you can see, the action at the intersection is starting to heat up.
Well, unfortunately, you don't see the number 67 car that started the race. Mackenzie Dietz was behind the wheel of that. But boy, I tell you, that just brings back so many cool memories of the good old figure 8 days back when they looked kind of like the 17 of Quentin Borison does, and the 67 car that Mackenzie brought out. Those things. It's so cool to have that memory.
Earlier, Mackenzie, in the year, Mackenzie talked about, you have to be careful to watch the intersection. You get racing the car in front of you, and you forget that you got to go through an intersection. You better check, because if you don't, it hurts.
You'll only forget once. That's the way it works.
Or at least once a night.
That's right. Chris Curtis still leading it as we're getting ready to watch the 25 car of Dakota Wilkinson do a couple of donuts there just to show us that you can. And we're going to take a break. We're going to come back here. Home Track Heroes on CW11 season number 2. We'll finish up our figure 8 race coming right up.